Happy Monday, Mount Vernon. This is Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, and welcome to Mount Vernon Mondays. Today, we will be speaking about our Veterans Service Agency. But before we start, I want to say happy 250th birthday to the Marine Corps of the United States. 250 years ago today, the Marine Corps was founded, and congratulations to our director of the Veterans Service Agency, Director Andrea Molina, who is also a Marine. So,
Thank you.
congratulations. So the city of Mount Vernon is always proud to stand with our veterans and their families. And as we know, tomorrow is Veterans Day. Our Veterans Service Agency is led by our director, Andrea Molina, and she always works very hard with her volunteers and her partners to ensure that every veteran who served our nation receives the care, the benefits, and the respect that they deserve. We're committed to building a city that honors, serves, and supports healing and strengthens opportunities for our veterans and their family. And so some of the core services, I'm just going to give a high-level overview, and then Director Molina will dig down deeper. One of our core services is benefits and claim assistance. The Veterans Service Agency helps veterans and their families navigate the very complex VA system. The services include assistance with disability claims, pensions, dependency, and indemnity compensation, DIC, and appeals. Our staff advocates to make sure no veteran falls through the cracks. One of the second services, core services, is advocacy and discharge upgrades. The agency provides guidance for veterans seeking to upgrade their service discharge or correct military records. This is very important. The work restores access to benefits and recognizes honorable service of veterans who may have been unjustly discharged. So if you have been discharged with less than honorable status, please come and talk to our Veterans Service Agency. There might be opportunities to adjust that. Number 3, mental health and peer support. The Veterans Service Agency offers peer support, mental health first aid, and referrals for PTSD, depression, and trauma-related issues. Through trauma-informed training and community education, Mount Vernon promotes emotional safety and suicide prevention. Fourth pillar is health and wellness coordination. Veterans are connected to healthcare enrollment, specialty clinics, and wellness programs. We partner with the VA and local providers to ensure access to both physical and mental health care. Always important, community and family support. The Veterans Service Agency assists surviving spouses and dependents with benefits and burial assistance. We also host citywide observances like Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Gold Star Mother's Day, and Purple Heart ceremonies throughout the year to honor our heroes. Education, employment, and partnership. Through workshops, at VA work-study programs and interagency collaboration, the Veterans Service Agency here in Mount Vernon helps veterans transition into meaningful careers. Our partnerships extend across the city, the county, and the state to deliver coordinated, comprehensive support. And one of the last pillars, but not least, is the preservation of legacy. The agency leads efforts to maintain and restore Mount Vernon's veterans' memorials and monuments, keeping our city's military heritage alive for future generations. So in closing, and before I turn it over to our Director Molina, we want to make sure that everyone understands that veterans are the backbone of the freedom of our community. And in these trying times where we're seeing national debates and world conflicts and confrontations, we always have to remember the sacrifice and the service of our veterans. The Mount Vernon's Veterans Service Agency seeks to ensure that their sacrifices are honored not just in words, but through real, tangible support. And together we're building a city that truly serves those who have served us. And with that being said, I'm going to step aside so that Director Molina, a proud Marine, whose 250th birthday of the Marine Corps is today, gets to speak more deeply on some of the services that we're providing. Director Molina.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank Mount Vernon veterans for their service, whether honorably, dishonorably, or other than honorably. You signed up where others wouldn't, and I'd like to recognize that. I also would like to point out that our Veteran Service Agency is not the VA. We advocate on your behalf, and in some points in time, we fight the VA. I am not a lawyer, but I do have experience in obtaining benefits, service connection. Doesn't matter how long you've been out. And it is important also to point out that if you face discrimination in your time in service and face consequences due to that discrimination or military sexual trauma, there are consequences for that, and there is benefits that are allowed to you. So with that said, please make an appointment with my office and make sure that I can make sure I can carve out the time dedicated to your case. If you don't have your military records, we will obtain them. There is a bit of a pause with the government shutdown. It may take about 2 to 3 months, but we will obtain your records. We'll audit your records. We will audit your benefits. The laws in the VA Benefits Administration changed 7 times last year. It's also important to point out that Veteran Administration has 2 departments, VBA, which is the Veterans Benefit Administration, and VHA, which is a Veterans Health Administration. Both run differently. They are not benefits. They are not interrelated. So someone at a VA hospital cannot advise you on benefits because they are not trained to do so. So when in doubt, please check with us. Mount Vernon veterans are our priority. You're not going to be on a 2 to 3 month wait list. You will always come first in my office. The same thing for spouses, widows, and widowers. Please make sure you come in and check with me. My job is also to advocate. If your spouse died due to an exposure and he was never compensated, you can be compensated for that person's loss. Also, burial. If you are not a spouse, but you paid for a veteran's burial, any services related to that funeral, please stop by. Let's make an appointment. It is important that you not drop by because we get very busy and I might not have the chance to see you. So it's always important to have an appointment set up with me. The other thing I wanted to also point out, the GI Bill is closed right now. That department is closed, but it doesn't mean that you can't put in your paperwork so you can be on queue to be taken care of. The same thing with ordering your records. It is shut down, but it is not wise to wait for them to open up. Have your paperwork in so that your paperwork isn't on their queue and you're up next. If you are not prepared, still stop by because we'll put an intent to file. In some cases, people are owed back pay from the moment of intent to file, and that's a payout that can definitely change your life. So with that, also I wanted to bring one more important thing. Life insurance, must set that up. Do not wait until something happens where you're trying, where you're unable to speak. Set up a power of attorney. Power of attorney with the VA is not the same as the power of attorney for the civilian world. It falls specifically for the VA, and it's a federal document, and it must be filed under the VA's forms. Also for housing, I'd like to point out we have a partnership with Westcop. They have the SSVF. They help pay 1 month rent, 1 month security if you qualify. Then we also assist with HUD-VASH. HUD-VASH requires lots of documents. They are the same as SSVF. I can gladly help scan, copy, help you fill out forms to help you with housing. I cannot, however, play real estate agent and find an apartment, but I can definitely advocate on your behalf. What I don't do is child support. I cannot be involved in fighting for child support through the VA. Alimony, we don't take care of alimonies. That is something that must be done by the local court. But there are forms. Once you have that paperwork, if you give me a call, I will facilitate that form to you to bring to court with you for the VA to manage those funds towards you once you have that sorted out with a court. But you definitely need a court document, and that's something that we don't do. Also, I'd like to point out that we do have one-on-one peer. Eventually, I hope to roll out a peer group. But if there is a need to connect with a veteran, please stop by. I am more than happy to spend time with you and sort things out, connect you with the right mental health resources. We have the Vet to Vet program here in Westchester. They have peers. If you're not comfortable speaking with me, I can find the right peer for you. We also offer mental health first aid to train individuals on how to work with veterans and active duty members, because we require a special touch. And also familiarity with military culture. And finally, I wanted to talk about what's very important, not only support for family and community, but veterans. I ask you to please come out and join our events, participate. Do not allow someone else that is not a veteran to attend your events, to make decisions on your benefits. You have to participate. I can't do this alone. I work with the Office of Senator Gillibrand. She's part of the military committee in DC, and I can't be the only one. So if you are interested, please reach out to my office. Let me just make sure we've covered everything. And we also work with the legacy financial planning here in Mount Vernon. Lots of veterans have asked about that. Please connect with me. In the future, we look to hold financial and legacy planning for veterans specifically. Thank you.
So thank you so much to our Director Melina for the amazing work that you're doing with our veterans community. One of the things she spoke about is the mental and emotional and social health of our veterans, and that is a service that she's definitely been amplifying and pulling more partners into, also to address housing issues. So thank you. Another area that I know you've really been focused on is traumatic brain injuries. Yeah. For veterans, and that is something that the Veterans Service Agency and our Director Melina has a lot of information about. And so what we want our veterans to know as we celebrate your service is the nation recognizes you on tomorrow, but we recognize you every day, is that there are services here. It's not a big department, but it is a strong department with lots of partnerships that is here to meet your needs and connect you to the services that you so desperately not just need, but deserve as well. And so thank you for bringing yet another level and layer of services here to the city of Mount Vernon. One of the other things that you touched upon and we heard a lot about yesterday at an event that we attended was sexual trauma in the military. And so if you've been a victim, male or female, of sexual trauma in the military, that is something that people oftentimes don't want to talk about, that while you're serving your country, that you've been abused while performing your military duties. And so if you have experienced sexual trauma in the military, please, that is something you don't have to deal with alone. You can come to our Veterans Service Agency and get information, support, and referrals for service so that you can address those. Again, everyone, let's not use tomorrow as just a day off. It's not just about going to shop for a mattress or the different Veterans Day sales that they have. We know some of our veterans will take advantage of some of the benefits that you have at several of the restaurants to get your veterans lunch. Absolutely take advantage of that, but let's make sure that on tomorrow, as many of us will have a day off, that we are remembering the service of our veterans. And while our country is definitely on a lot of shaky constitutional ground, we still have to thank those who fought for the rights of many of the laws and the freedoms that we still do enjoy, and that's because someone stepped up and they served. So thank you so much, Director Melina. Happy Veterans Day tomorrow, everyone. We will have a Veterans Service ceremony tomorrow here at City Hall at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. in the City Council chambers. We will have our veterans ceremony, so please come out. We will be rallying up at about 10:30 because we will be starting on time as we more formally recognize and celebrate our veterans here in the city on tomorrow, 11 a.m., City Council chambers, Mount Vernon City Hall. for our annual Veterans Day acknowledgement. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed day. Thank you, Director.